So I clearly have a problem. That problem is my obsession with film gear. So I decided to make this series, Dope Film Tech, where we take a look at some of the most amazing gear on the market. Stuff that's affordable, easy for consumers to get their hands on, as well as some of the wild and crazy high-end professional gear that's being used out there on professional sets. So that's what this series is all about. And in today's video, we're actually gonna kick things off with something a little more affordable, and that is this guy right over here. This is the SmallRig RC220B. Now, this is an affordable light that is great to bring out on set or even just use for a YouTube setup. The reason why I like lights like this when it comes to recommending lights on the channel is 1, it's affordable, 2, the quality is great, and 3, you get tons of additional accessories that you can pick up with a light like this in order to make it even more versatile. So starting off with the light itself, as I mentioned, this is the 220B, and that B stands for bicolor. This means this light can shoot in daylight and in tungsten. Now, there's a couple interesting things about this light in particular. For starters, when you purchase it, it is gonna come with this nice dome that's gonna allow you to focus the light a little bit more, but SmallRig has come out with a handful of accessories to really take this light up a notch. It starts with their parabolic softbox, which I do have right here. The nice thing about this softbox is the fact that not only does it diffuse the light really well, but it also comes with this amazing grid, and it comes with an amazing case. Speaking of cases, not only do they have a case for the parabolic softbox, but there is a case for the light itself, which does come included for the low price. Now, this light is designed to be plugged into the wall, but SmallRig did come out with another accessory for this guy, which is just a V-mount adapter. All it takes is literally this V-mount adapter and this cable. You just run this into the system, and now you can easily start powering this thing off of a small V-mount. This is great if you're gonna be running and gunning and you need to be very portable and you're not sure if you're gonna have power at your location. Having this as a backup plan is fantastic. Okay, so the next item that I wanna talk about on the Dope Film Tech list is gonna be this monitor by LG. This is the dual up display. This monitor has a aspect ratio of 16:18, and the reason why it has that is because it has quite a few unique features up its belt. For starters, this monitor is designed to be able to be used as 2 different displays stacked on top of each other. This means that you can actually have 2 input sources going into this monitor at the same time. So this could be 2 input sources from the same computer if you want them to be registered as different displays. For example, if you're using like an editor and you want to be able to have your timeline down below and you want to have your playback up above, and you want to be able to cleanly separate these by them being registered as different displays, you can do that with this monitor. On top of that, you can also have 2 totally different computers going into this monitor at the same time. So if you're someone who wants to use a PC and a Mac simultaneously, but you don't want to have multiple displays out on your desk, you can totally do that. I love having this second vertical display on my desk because I find that it works out great for things like documents, emails, and honestly for editing as well. I think that it is perfect as a vertical display going alongside of a traditional horizontal display, because with this resolution and with the aspect ratio that this monitor gives you, it's not too tall, which is a problem that I typically run into when I'm using a traditional 16:9 monitor and I just try to turn it sideways. All right, now this is the Bolt High-Speed Precision Cinebot. Now, the reason why you'd want to use a Cinebot like this is if you are shooting products, or you're shooting food, or you're shooting anything where you need to move the camera at a very high speed, but in a movement that is repeatable, especially when shooting at high frame rates, this is the way to do it. Now, obviously, only one of these for most of us is gonna be out of the equation, but the nice thing is that typically you can find these available for rent in most major cities. Now, it's also really important to understand that this is not like just picking up a gimbal and figuring out how to use it. You are gonna also need to hire out professional hands in order to bring it out on set in order to ensure that you're getting the shots that you need. The major benefit with this is not only can you move at high speed, but you can get the same shots over and over and over again, which means you can do some super creative stuff in post. Personally, I'm really excited for myself to be using this on this job here in particularly, but more importantly, it's good to show off to you guys so you know what's out there so you can maybe bring it out on your next job.
And now a word from our sponsors.
I'm sure if you've been shooting video for over a day, you probably have some extra footage just sitting around on a hard drive or on a memory card somewhere. And the crazy thing is this footage you have just sitting there could be making you money, and I don't care what it is. So let's make this simple. Grab all of that footage you have and head over to wirestock.com and create an account. Upload all this footage and sit back and let Wirestock do all the heavy lifting. With Wirestock, they take the time to upload your videos and photos to all the major stock websites. I'm talking Adobe, Shutterstock, Pond5, and many others, to get you the most exposure and possible sales. And the best part is all of this is free. Wirestock works on a percentage of sales basis, which means they get a percentage of the sales of your stock content, which means they only get paid if you get paid. It's absolutely free and easy to sign up. Check out my link in the description and start making some money ASAP. Now, when it comes to testing out lights here on the studio, our next piece of dope film tech is actually what helps me do that, and that is this guy here. This is the Sekonic C800U. Now, if you're a filmmaker like me and you love to dabble in lights with color, this thing is absolutely crucial. If you want to get a good reading on what your lights are, figure out their exact color balances, and be able to start matching different lights from different sources, the Sekonic C800 is an absolute must. I've used this thing out on set in order to get my lights dialed in exactly the way I need to, and trust me, like once you start using it and learning it, it definitely makes a big difference, and it allows you to balance different colors and different lights from different manufacturers. Now, full transparency, there is a pretty steep learning curve to fully understanding how to use the Sekonic 800, and I am not perfect at it yet. But if you ever want to check out an awesome channel that goes over light meters and can really help you with your DP work, I definitely strongly recommend checking out Robert Machado. He's one of my good friends and he has an excellent YouTube channel. So if you're really trying to dial in your lighting and you want to learn how to work with light meters, definitely check out his channel. All right, so the next item on our dope film tech list is this guy right here. This is the Omni 20 Plus. Now, this is a power bank, but it is designed for professionals. Creative professionals really can get a kick out of a lot of the features that this thing gives us. One of the biggest ones, and the reason that immediately attracted it to me, was the fact that it actually has a full-size AC outlet on this guy. I can simply just plug this into the side, and then I can grab my MagSafe cable here, plug that guy in, and now I have power going directly into my MacBook with literally just the press of a button. On the front here, you'll find your power button as well as your buttons that allow you to control these different outlets, so that way you don't have power bleed. But you also are gonna find two USB-A outlets, and then on the side here, you have your USB-C and your DC. As I mentioned, yes, I can charge my laptop using this AC outlet on the side, but I can also just unplug this guy here. If I don't want to bring my power brick, for example, and I just want to have my USB cable, I can plug that into the USB-C port, and now I'm still charging my laptop. But that's the nice part, is it doesn't have to be a laptop. It could be a camera, it could be your phone even, and they've even gone a step forward to making the phone charging process easier. You can easily just place your phone right on top, and now my phone is wirelessly charging. When we need to top off those batteries in order to get that perfect shot, that becomes the most pressing issue in the moment, and so it's nice to have something that we can trust. So the last piece of tech that I want to talk about in the Dope Film Tech series today is this guy here. This is the SuitPhoto TP25 RGB. It's a terrible name, but it is a fantastic tube light. One of the things I like most about this light is the price. It comes in at just over $100, and for that price point, I really haven't seen any other tube lights that really perform as great as this one. For starters, right now I actually have this light sitting at 1%, and one thing you'll notice is that even at 1%, you don't actually see any individual LED chips, and that's because of how great this diffusion panel is on the front. And it is hard plastic and it is built in, which means you're not only gonna be able to use this light as a practical light in scene, but you can also just use this light as a key light to actually light up a subject, whether that's a person or a product. This light can do a great job. Speaking of doing a great job, on top of the fact that it's so nice and diffused, it also gets insanely bright. As I mentioned, this is 1%. If I actually start turning this thing up to full 100%, you'll quickly see just how powerful this light actually is and how much of an output this light can put out. I did mention that this is RGB, and so with that, you are gonna get all the benefits of RGB as well. You're gonna be able to actually go ahead and switch into RGB mode, and I can start just kind of turning through my different colors. Also with this guy here, you'll also be able to do effects such as the traditional ones that we're all used to, like cops and flashing lights and thunder and things like that. But at the end of the day, with a light like this, the idea is to be as creative with it as you can be and for the gear not to get in your way. And I honestly think this light stands up to that. With the app and the controls on the back, it's super easy to dial in the looks that you're going for. But that's all the gear that we're gonna talk about in today's episode of Dope Film Tech. If there's gear you wanna see me cover in future videos, definitely make sure you leave those down in the comments. Also, I'll have links to all the gear down below in the description as well. But thanks so much for checking out this video. If you stuck around this long, might as well hit that subscribe button, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.